Welcome back, y'all, to another episode of Hip Hop Babies.
Yes, sirski.
We back. You know, it's your host, Deadly, host with most, and I got my boy Ray with me, as always.
I'm ready to get into this album.
Gotta keep it classic. We got the slogan, you know, we got the merch coming, it's loading. All right, man, we about to get into RichAxxHaitian by Mach-Hommy. Haitian nationality, but from New Jersey. This is the second album review we're doing from Mach. Certainly not the second album that we listened to. We're excited, man. This is a crazy album, bro. It's one for the ages.
Mach-Hommy, one of the most consistent rappers in the game right now. When his name is attached to something, I get excited. This project, RichAxxHaitian, people have been waiting on this because he's been hinting at this. People were saying it might drop last year, it didn't. And he gave it to us now. If you've been paying attention, especially after Pray for Haiti, because a lot of people started to tap in after that. One thing that I appreciate about him is that he's one of those, if you know guys, and you got to do your research. Especially because he can rap about any topic. And even on a track, sometimes he's going to switch it up. He's going to switch up the inflection. He's going to start speaking Haitian Creole. And he's going to then go into stuff about modern day topics, whether it's capitalism, whether it's war, trapping. The way he goes about it is insane. And it's over some dope production, right? He has a good ear for beats.
Pretty easily. I mean, you're just getting producers from all over the place, man. I just feel like there's nobody in here who made the cut just because of, namesake, but, some familiar faces, people that we fuck with. I mean, we got, the Godfather him, we got Rock Marciano, Black Thought, Quelle Chris, K Tronado on here, Otto Greedo. I mean, that's just like the people that I traditionally mess with. But we got some like standout performances from Georgia and Muldrow. We also had, who was the producer that went crazy on Sanjay?
Hazaba.
I just wanted you to have your,
my moment where I slaughter a name. Yeah. Don't get it twisted, bro. If you're listening to this somehow, you killed that beat. It don't matter what your name is. It does matter what your name is, but I'm going to learn it eventually after that. Like, that was a crazy ass beat.
Just all the collaborations that came together on this project were top notch. I can't say enough for all the people that came in to make this project what it is outside of Mach-Hommy. But Mach, he shines through, man, on every track. The first one, couldn't really understand it, man. I didn't translate it all. I damn near should have. From what I did pick up from it, it didn't really matter if I was really getting it or not. I mean, I feel like sometimes his lyrical ability is so dense that you don't even pick up what he's saying most of the time for a lot of the shit. So it's like, you're going to be like, oh, I can't understand 20% of the album. Well, you was already not understanding 75% of the album the first time you listened to it, bro. So go ahead and let's do it a couple more times. And then probably at the end, then you can hit the Google Translate if you want a deeper meaning, But he gives you so many meanings, so many things, like you said, that he's talking about at one time. And sometimes he's just talking about things to talk about things, Like I feel like Autonomasia, what kind of name is that for a track? Autonomasia. He had to do something funny for Rock Marciano, because Rock Marciano, he be saying crazy shit. He just be trying to say extravagant shit, bro. This is one of the realest hip-hop moments of the year right here, bro. Yeah. I love this track, bro.
It was special. They've been supposed to work together, right? Two of the top dogs, and changing the way the internet consumes music, right? And I think that it was dope to see them get on a record and it be fire. They both match each other's energy, and Mach-Hommy obviously knows what's up in the game, especially as we get deeper into it with the features. Just like, he knows what the people want, and I think he gave it to them, and he also gave them stuff that they didn't expect. Like, I wasn't expecting Otto Greedo at all when I first saw the track get dropped, because that was a single, right? Is this about to be some weird stuff? Is he trying to go mainstream? And no, I'm not going to say that it's not his most accessible track, probably, especially recently, but it was still Mach-Hommy, especially like with Otto Greedo and the auto-tune and stuff. Like, it was perfect. Moments like that on this album is what makes it so special. And you're saying like you couldn't Google translate it. Well, it'd be hard because you can't copy and paste the lyrics from anywhere really, unless you got a plug or you find somewhere, because he DMCA's take down the lyrics where they're posted. So you have to go out your way to figure out what he's saying, which would be extremely hard, right? I didn't do it either, but like you said, it was just about the vibe.
There's a way. There's a way.
No, he makes it challenging. He makes it where it's all up to your interpretation. And that also adds to the music, I think, because you actually have to sit and listen to it. Like, if I got a quotable off this album, it was because I sat and I caught my ear and then I wrote it down, or I, took a note in my head. I'm like, that was a crazy line. It wasn't because I pulled up the track and I read what was said, and then some people annotated or add what they thought it was. You have to come up to your own conclusions, and that's what gives this so much replayability, I feel like.
I just want to say that I feel like RichAxxHaitian was probably the most accessible track on here. That's why he made it the title track, because every time you refer to that hashtag, bro, I felt like it was a really smart move to do that hashtag on that. You're going to be referring to the song, and you're going to be referring to the album at the same time, so I felt like he probably thought that was the most accessible track. That's why he did it like that. Like you said, that 03 Greedo chorus was crazy, bro. He knows exactly what he's doing. And I felt like the Mach verse on that was just elite, bro. Like, he had one of the most crazy flows that he's had on the entire album on that song. He spazzed. That was a highlight. That was probably the apex of the album for me. I felt like that was when it peaked. And then from there, it started to slowly fall down. But, not a bad thing. It's not like it was like a sharp drop off. It's just like, that was the best for me. I felt like it was all building up to that moment.
I like the track a lot too, because MachHommy, he reps Haiti. Pray for Haiti, the big album that people know, and just damn near a classic at this point. I don't care what people say. It's not an internet classic. I think Pray for Haiti is basically a classic album. I love that album to death. And a big part of that as well is that he's always about bringing awareness. Even on this album, when he talks about a topic, it's not like he's preaching at you, or it's not like he's like acting like he's going to change everything, or he's like a prophet to save everyone. I mean, he says it like as far as like his rhymes or like, his ability. He reps where he's from, and it's a contrast because you think about the title, RichAxxHaitian. Well, Haiti's one of the more poorer nations in the world. New Jersey, New Jersey is seen as not the best area, right? So yeah. I think that it's kind of interesting to see him juxtapose, like put those things together and rep it so hard. And and another thing about Pray for Haiti that I found was dope is that he's 20% of the massive, we're put into a trust fund to help kids in the future of Haiti. And I love that. Like, he's about what he talks about. It's not just saying pray for Haiti and then moving on. He's actually like giving back to his community. And we talk about this. It's about being real and being fake, right? A lot of these rappers, they come off fake. One of Mach-Hommy's biggest draws, at least for me, is that he comes off real on whatever he's talking about. Almost to the point where it could be maybe offensive to some people, or could be a little jarring, right? But to me, it makes me get comfortable, because he's saying stuff that maybe other people wouldn't touch, like they wouldn't feel comfortable to talk about because of money, or because of they don't feel comfortable approaching the topic. No, he's going to talk about whatever he wants to talk about and put it in your face.
Yeah, he's just kind of a classic example of art reflecting the current state around him. What he stands for and his music and stuff is like pretty noble. He takes stands against neo-colonialism, just talking about the oligarchy or whatever group of businessmen running the country and shit. Just talking about all the different problems that much as that he can grasp, right? We got as early as political. I got a monkey on my back. It's a rather heavy load. Talking about, situations in Gaza, drawing kind of like in comparison with his home country, whether you see it as Haiti, his like nationality, or you see it as America. It could work both ways. He's bringing light to these events in the Middle East that are not that far from our reality here, bro. And I think that that's kind of something that needs to be brought up more and more in hip hop. In discourse in general, is just that the shit that happens that America is responsible for ultimately, it could happen anywhere over here too. We're not immune to it, and I think that is a very serious and very needed topic, especially in hip hop, because we are those people, bro. We're the people who've been subjected to violence from the government through, police brutality, lack of funding, redlining, crack being put in the communities. Who says that they can't drop white phosphorus, bro? It's crazy, bro. So like, he really does need talk about the stuff that needs to be talked about, and like sometimes when he's doing that, he's going crazy, bro. Like he's just trying to show you the bars and like how he can rhyme different words together. I feel like this one really reminded me of the Dollar Menu 4 when we were listening to that one. He's talking about cephalopods at the Mirage. Go ahead, bro. Do your thing, bro.
Yeah, the vernacular is crazy. Listening to this, man, it feels like you're reading a book. You're in a lesson and he's teaching you, but like you're learning something, or like you're getting something out of this. Sometimes he brings light to something, or he says it in a way that's kind of funny in a dark humor way, but it works. That track was a good example of that. I like the hook again, because even though he's talking about these deep topics, it's still melodic. He shows his vocal range sometimes on this album. And yeah, talking about the International Monetary Fund, IMF, everything going on. Like, I don't know other rappers that are doing it like that. You know, one thing I like about Mach is that if he feels the need to talk about something, it's going to come off in a way and be direct. And it's not like I'm doing this to get attention. He's doing it because he actually wants to talk about it, or he wants to, you know, shed some light. And I had to do some research because of this track. I was like, what is he talking about? I did some research on Haiti and Palestine connections and their stance on in certain things, because I was like, what is he trying to go on about? If anything, if he's not totally touching on something, it makes you interested to the point where it's like, let me look up what he's talking about, because I know the stance he might be coming from, but I don't know everything about it. You get what I'm saying? And that's important, especially when he could do it over these beats and do it in a way that's like, whoa, this is a special album. Mach has been getting respect for a while, but this project is different because he's getting respect and he's making moves. Like I said, that the title track, like, that could be on the radio. I think I've heard my pops and other people talking about it that usually don't really talk about Mach-Hommy because it's such a good track, and OT Greedo's on it, and it stood out, right? Black Thought is on here. That's a big
the track before, bro. He's feeding to both sides. I mean, he's got his normal audience that, you know, normally listens to him, and then he's reaching out to greater community in a way that's not like, you know, looking for validation from certain people. You know, he's just kind of doing it by making good music. That's the way to do it, bro. That's the way you're gonna ultimately inject yourself into the culture. I mean, you know, that's really respectable, and it just gives off very, like, a lot of authenticity.
Yeah, I mean, if you're just jumping into Mach-Hommy at this point, I think, you know, you're going to have to do some more research. I know some of his projects are hard to find. His lyrics are obviously hard to find. You got to, you know, really listen. It's worth the learning curve.
It's fun to be looking for that, man. It's like back in the day, LimeWire, bro, you upload a virus to your family computer. Bro, if you got iPhone, bro, you're not going to catch a virus. Just go look for Mach-Hommy on, you know, some Reddit thread or some fucking, you know, old shit. You're going to find the albums, bro. It's not that hard. It's worth it, bro. If you want to listen to somebody who's just a dope rapper, got a great ear for beats, you know, that's always going to elevate an MC. You want somebody who just knows how to play with the words. Do real hip-hop, man. You know, I may not have initially liked what I heard when I first started listening to him. I listened to Pray for Haiti. Initially, I didn't like it, but, you know, I didn't really think I was messing with his album when I was first listening to it. I was just like, some of these songs that are kind of different sounding, you know, but some of the best albums I've ever listened to, I did not like on the first listen. Definitely don't be deterred if you listen to this and just be like, man, it's all sound the same, or, you know, I can't understand what he's saying. You know, you pick it up as you go. What we tell y'all every time is be open-minded with this shit. He's talking about some real shit on here, so.
I give you crap for not enjoying Pray for Haiti, but that is not an accessible project. I think this is easily one of his more, if not his most accessible project. So I think it's a good place to start. I also think that, and I'm going to make a nerdy comparison here. This project is his Elden Ring. This project, you know, FromSoft, they have been making games for years. They're critically acclaimed. People knew them. If you know video games, you know FromSoft. You know Dark Souls 1. You might even know Demon's Souls, Bloodborne, all those games. People really are attached. They have memories of those games for a reason, because they're top tier. And then Elden Ring came out and everybody was on it. I'm not going to say everyone is going to be on this, but this is the most I've seen people really talk about Mach-Hommy, and I think it's a great moment because it's showing that people are catching on. People are starting to see that even if they only like a few tracks, you know, I think taking that step is a big step. You know what I'm saying?
For those of y'all that thought we made it, you know, that was not an ad placement. I wish it was, bro.
If Elden Ring
sponsored us, bro.
FromSoft, if you want to give us some money, hey, tap in, because, you know, we can make it work. The reason why I said that is, like I said, people knew FromSoft, but it's kind of like one of those things where it's like, you're either into it or you're not. And I think this is one of those things where you're either into Mach or you're not. But then sometimes it converges and everyone's into it. And I think if you listen to this, you will be into it. You just like the music, bro. It's good music on here. It's good beats on here. Just because he's super lyrical doesn't mean you have to understand everything he's saying. I don't like when people focus on that because, you know, you're not cutting certain rappers slack when you cut other rappers slack, right? We let stuff slide all the time.
It's limiting, yeah, for sure.
Yeah, you're limiting them. And then I think we wouldn't get moments on here where Mach is showing his versatility with the vocal range, with some of the production or like some of the features, because he knows, hey man, I can get this feature work and I can do my thing but adjust it to make it more accessible. And it worked every time. There was some tracks that I liked more, others on here. But for the most part, I think it worked. It didn't need a theme. It didn't need something to put it all together, because Mach's verses and his energy carried the project a lot. And the production kind of tied it together, the lo-fi sounding.
I mean, I would say
type of hip-hop production.
I would say his persona, bro, like everything that he stands for kind of like is the theme of the album in a way. Proudly repping, his Haitian roots. And I think he wears that on his sleeve and he speaks well for his people. He had that one Xerx clock where he was just talking with the dude, talking about, the businessman in the room. And then he had another one called With Good Perfumes, Ausbon Parfums. He's translating for, this guy speaking in Creole. So I felt like he had moments where, he was really showing himself. And that's kind of what the theme of this album really felt like for me. And I felt like he was going through different parts of his life. Long is what it is in English. This guy is just talking about long times they're going through. Keep your blue cheese. I'm going to get my Gorgonzola because he's fancy, People be hating. Yeah. They be like, he charged $700 for a vinyl, bro. You deserve to pay $700 for a vinyl, bro. Artists need that money, bro.
Yeah. If it has the Haitian title, because even the, it goes Haitian body odor, pray for Haiti, and then this, it's gonna be fire. It might be worth it. If you got that money to spend on a project and you really want to support an artist, why not? You brought up Lon Lon, right? Lon Lon? Mm-hmm. Before we move on, I got a quote from Lon Lon, actually. I loved it when he said, "I'm not your token ER boy rapping. I'm a charming ass composer." And he's real about that. Like, he might talk about some of the grimy, dirty stuff that happens in the streets, but he's not someone I think a corporate office would want to put in front of people.
That's a common theme in his music, bro. I mean, he said, I think on another track from a different album, he said, he not the Uncle Tom. Yes. He says shit like that all the time. He is not something to put in front of somebody who wants you to be politically correct or whatever, bro,
Or a sellout. Yeah, basically.
Or a sellout, saying shit for other people. He's not a fucking corporation. That's a prominent distinction for rappers nowadays, is whether they are an entity that's controlled by the record labels and the people who control them, or if it's somebody who's independent. So, we always got extra respect for the independent rapper. That's real hip-hop right there, man,
Same 24. You were talking about how he's talking about...
Same 24 hours in a day.
Yes, his life. I think what kind of brings this project down sometimes is that because he doesn't connect everything, sometimes he goes from topic to topic and he's, like, slowed it down. It's, like, maybe a little low compared to this vibe. But for the most part, it was dope when he did stuff like Same 24.
He trying to distract you from the fact that he not finishing his point. You think about something else, you're like, damn, bro, we really do got the same 24 hours. Man, he didn't tell me what he was talking about in that last track, though. So, like, I just feel like he does do that sometimes. But sometimes you don't have to complete the thought. If it's enough to make somebody think about it, then it worked. That's the beauty of this, man. 48 minutes. God, what a good runtime. I felt like it was a long album, and then I looked, and I'm like, it's 48 minutes, Like, 48 minutes feels like ages today.
Because he's throwing so much at you, bro. Like, bro. I was going to say the same thing, bro. I love that you brought that up. Like, it felt longer than it was, but once you get repeated listens in, you start to see that length. It's not too long. It's not too short. I feel like if he would have made a few more tracks on here, it might have gave it a too long of a vibe, especially with the jumping around. I feel like Pray for Haiti and some of his other projects are more connected somehow. Tracks like Holy Blank, the closer, Conductor, crazy closer. And then he has lines like, was geeking off the yay, my beautiful dark twisted fantasy was a fetus on a tray. What do you mean by that? Like, again, I'm listening now, this is the closer. Got my big ass headphones on, chilling, right? Who thinks of bars like this? Like, who says it? And the way he said it was so crazy to me. I was like, where does this come from? Like,
that was a crazy line, bro, because that's like a damn near like triple entendre type meaning.
Yes.
Like the crack babies being aborted, and Ye is Kanye, who is Christians, pro-life, like the layers, bro.
Full of that. Damn near a lot of the tracks, Padam, that had the guy find him. That was a dope track. And then Empty Spaces with Euro Drew, right? Crazy line on there from more so Euro Drew, but Mach-Hommy said some crazy shit too. But Euro Drew took the cake with what he said about the dog stuff.
We get what he meant, man. Like,
yeah, that's what's on here. It's the truth. It's not keeping it PC. So the only reason why I brought it up, not because I was per se offended, but it's just one of those things where it's like, he's going to touch on some sensitive topic.
It's a head turner, First time listening to it, you just like, what are you talking about? It's commentary on capitalism, and the so-called willingness to participate in capitalism if you're a worker, and you're giving up part of your life to go to a job just so you can live. That should be something that everybody is aware of and is thinking about at all times, instead of just being like, this is normal. This is what should be happening. It's a dog-eat-dog world, but on the next level, bro. I mean, I totally get what he means. And it's like, he wanted people to just react that way so that they could talk about it. Like I was saying with Mach earlier, where he just says those lines where it could just catch people's ears. I just felt like Droog had to do that, but he didn't have to do that. But that's exactly why he did it.
This is a hip-hop album. This is the culture. Anti the top guy. Anti the system. That's why this album is an album of the year contender for me. Just from the listens I'm getting, just from my enjoyment of this album, man. I'm loving it.
Yeah, I don't think that's bold at all. We'll see where I got it at. We still got plenty to come, but yeah, I don't think that anybody's matching the lyricism or just the technicality of like all the different stuff. Like, I don't think that there's like anything that you could say about him besides like they don't play him in the club though. That's all I feel like you can say about him, right? But everything else, man, he's top tier. He's fucking top 3 songs on the album for both of us. I'll go first. I got Sanjay as number 1. Insane beat, atmospheric as fuck. Loved it. Great lyricism. Next, Lon Lon, crazy. Flute on there. Who was in the studio? I got to know. Shout out to you. Third, I'm going to give it the Same 24 Hours. I just thought Same 24 Hours was,
crazy.
Beautiful track, man. I just went for one that took me to another space. It was out of this world, atmospheric. One of the most real tracks on here. So just makes you think about life. Makes you think about all these different things besides the track. Just takes you out. Does the thing that music is supposed to do.
I like that. I like those 3. We're going to have similar ones. My first one, Copy Code. Black Dot, Quelle Chris on the beat. Black Dot ripped it. Mach-Hommy ripped it. Nothing else to be said. My second is Sanjay. I love that track. I love the production on it. Smooth. Shout out to Georgia Ann. She's talented as hell. If you haven't tapped in, I'm going to recommend the project Zeitgeist, I think, with Elzai. She did a lot of production, vocals, piano on that. Amazing album. And then my third one is Same 24. That was a highlight. Yeah, it got me thinking. It put me in a certain mind state that I think I needed to be in when I was listening to this album.
Good 3. I was expecting a little differentiation, bro. You got 2 the same.
I feel like you could switch it up. Like I could have picked RichAxxHaitian. I could have picked Tana Major. I could have picked that one. That one was fighting for the 3rd spot probably. But I think those ones are the ones that I added to my playlist.
Well, that concludes this episode. Hip Hop Baby's album review. Thank you so much, Mach-Hommy, for this beautiful album. Make sure y'all post with RichAxxHaitian as when you post about sharing this shit. You got Instagram, Twitter linked. Make sure y'all subscribe to the Patreon. Like, comment, subscribe. Don't forget.
Mach-Hommy, shout out to you. Shout out to all the producers on here. Every featured artist, y'all did your thing. Y'all made a special album. Shout out to all the people watching. We appreciate you. With that being said,
peace.
Peace.